We're here with Brad, came first place at our locals in Kettering, running Deck. How do you think it went?
It went pretty well for us. The only loss that I had of the day was to Satellanites at the end, just because of really bad mills from the riding that I play in this deck. I ended up milling 2 of my Royal Decrees, which didn't really do me any favours.
That's alright, Deck, even though I play it. Okay, so let's start with the deck profile. What do we do? Let's bring this match a little bit forward. There you go.
I've got a triple hammer deck. People obviously say that this is the card what makes the deck. When I was playing at the locals, obviously the effect of being able to pop a monster is quite good in there. But I just used it as a generic rank, well, just a generic free when I needed to, just to get some sort of monster on the boards to, well, help us out.
Cool.
And we play triple Antra, which I actually prefer over hammer deck, just because this is able to spin a face-up card. So when you're coming up towards like the Shadol matchups and everything else like that, you bring this out, obviously bring it out in defense, and then all you have to do is target one of your opponent's Shadols like Construct, spin it back, they don't get any effects to go off, and obviously they're not going plus from it. Petrula isn't too bad, it's more in there just for the name and an 18 beta. For the main things what you can do with it is you just destroy a set spell or trap what your opponent controls. So it's just in there just in case there's any back row. Then you've got triple, I believe it's Satamus.
Best card in the deck. This is the reason that I lost to this deck. I was playing Chaos, Light Swan, Shadol, Dot, everything, mill a million times dot deck, and this guy. I made a misplay, but this guy is the reason I lost. He's so good.
Obviously, as with all the other Infernoids, this one needs 2 to be banished to special summon it from the hand or the graveyard. But when it destroys a monster by an attack, during the end of the battle phase, you can banish one of your opponent's cards on the field. Doesn't matter where it is, as long as it's on the field and you destroy a monster, you're able to banish one from that.
Dickhead here, summon BLS and then a fire hand and just attacked and left a fire hand. Nice one.
Then obviously you got triple Antondale. Which is the card that I actually quite like in the deck, just because when this one comes out, the same as this one, it's just 2 to banish to bring it out on the board, but when it destroys a monster by battle, it can make a second attack. So for doing that and having it at 2/8, you do quite a lot of damage on, well, if you go second and you bring them out straight away, your opponent's already been a bit pushed for life points and what they can make plays with.
Quite nice against Cleefort, I imagine, especially if you're paying 800 every turn. It's 5/6, but it's on 6/4. Ouch.
And you got double Primus. It's an alright card. Yet again, it's just in there really more for the names of getting the Infernoids in the graveyard and being able to make the plays of the banishing. I actually never really use this one too much. What I believe it does is just target a set card on the field and then you shuffle it into your opponent's deck. So I should probably use that one a bit more, but with it having 0 attack and defense, it's quite easy for your opponent to get over.
They look pretty cool, don't they?
They're actually, for what I've read up about them on the lore of them, is they're the spirits what are trapped inside Clifforts, the little gems. Each one of these is what comes out of them.
Ah.
So if you have a look on certain Clifforts, obviously you've got like the yellow gem there. I think that's the green one.
Gem? Oh, there you go. You go 1-on-1 with Brad.
Then I play one Deity. Great card. Absolutely love playing it against anything what does back row. As soon as she's special summoned to the field, I can destroy all anything what's back row. So any spell and traps. I believe that will work for the pendulums as well. I'm not sure. I've not really read into it too much.
Special summon, destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's quite devastating against the Clee matchup and anything which is a pendulum deck.
You wouldn't get off against Clees. Lose 1 turn, skill drain.
The other effect actually has is quite good as well. Whenever an opponent's monster effect is activated, I contribute any monster on the board to then negate the activation and banish that card.
How many stars they got?
That's 9, that one.
Okay.
So So the best way to get her out on the board is obviously
With
make sure you've got on
and then do her last.
Yeah, any of the others on there, then bring her out, nuke the board.
I suppose it means you only get the one tribute as well, because as soon as you tribute the second one monster, you can't summon another one.
No, you'll only be stuck with her on the board, but that's usually, obviously you've destroyed all your opponent's back row.
2/9/2/9, that ass.
Yeah, so obviously usually what I'd do is I'd try and bring out on Tundale and this guy, well, and then you sit there, you attack into the monster, obviously do the 2/8, attack again, and you've got another 2/9 coming in for them. And then when they try to do anything next turn, you're just going to negate it with her, tribute this, and they seem to be dead at that point. Then obviously one of Anonku. This one's kind of the same as Deity. Obviously it needs to have 3 monsters to be brought out onto the board. But when Anonku's brought out, it destroys all monsters that face up on all monsters on the field.
Looks so badass.
And well, the secondary effect obviously has all the Infernoids have something different, but the big boss monsters do, and the ones what you need 2 for. Anonku is whenever a spell, trap, or an effect is activated, the same as any other Infernoid. You tribute 1 monster, and you can negate the activation and banish that card. So, and then having 3k on the attack and defense just makes it a little bit harder to get over.
Right, so that's all your Infernoid monsters, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. How many we got?
I believe we've got
Loads.
1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 19.
Monster.deck.
And then now we go on just for the main part, the milling and the synchro plays. We've got the double riding. This card, I've just, so many plays that I've gone off with it. I've been able to like OTK with anything. You just go into this, then bring back, say like a Harmodic, or a Harmodic from your hand, special summon that, sink into a 7, and you can just go off from there so many times with the plays that you can make.
Plus the ability to mill 4.
Yeah.
Are you playing a third, yeah?
No, I will be playing a third next time. Just because when playing at the event this time, just only having the 2, it just didn't seem like it could be quick enough, and I'd rather have this first, in my hand first turn, just because if I don't mill, I'm in a little bit of trouble with this deck. Then just to add to the Light Swan engine, we've got double Lumina. Obviously Lumina for the main effect of just ditching a card if obviously I've milled any more Light Swans to bring back Raiden, yet again to make the level 7 plays.
7 mills a turn.
And obviously to get the mills in as well. Just a single Lila.
MST dot card?
Yeah, just for the sake of having an MST in there, just in case I need to pop any of the back row, which I'm not really liking too much.
Okay.
And yet again, more of the mill engine.
So that completes your monsters.
Yep, that's all the monsters. So that's 19...
24?
22.
Yeah, 24.
Yeah, 24.
Oh, look at that spell card there. I remember when that was at 1.
And then for the card which actually makes this deck just stupid.
Stupid fucking
Very
card.
stupid. Triple reasoning. Obviously everyone knows what the reasoning is, but the main, when you summon or activate reasoning now, summon reasoning.
Well, it pretty much does summons half your fucking deck.
But obviously the main, everyone knows as soon as you now play reasoning, they're usually more than likely always going to call a level 4 on you. But as long as you get to mill quite a lot of the Infernoids, you're not too bothered about, even if you mill a Raiden, you could have a Lumina in hand, normal Lumina, ditch any other card, even ditch an Infernoid to then make the plays go even better. Such a good card in the deck.
Yep, pain in the ass card. When your opponent opens 2 against you and you're playing Chaos Result, you go, oh, this is going to be a fun game. None of that happened, right, Brad?
No, not at all. And then we only play the double of the voids there. I have been tempted to bump it up to 3 because there's been more times than others where I've been either needing it in my hand or in the graveyard just because of its effect. But obviously the first effect is one of my monsters that is targeted by any effect. I can just obviously activate this from hand, obviously if it's my turn or when it's set, and that monster just can't be targeted for that turn. Also, the effect which I like the best from it is when it's in the graveyard, as soon as any of your Infernoid monsters would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card, and the monster just isn't affected at all by it. So this is the main reason why I've been putting it up to 3, just because obviously I need to try and keep my monsters alive more than anything else on the board. Because if I lose them, I just lose control of the game quite quickly. We've got double charge of the Light Brigade.
Going to 3 in the next ban list, I'm telling you now.
Hopefully it goes to 3 in the next ban list, because then this just makes this deck even more stupid.
Hopefully not.
Just for the sake, obviously you've got the mill power from it, you've got the adding of the Light Swans to add even more mills for what you can do with this deck.
Mill 3, add 1, absolutely no drawback.
Then sit there, mill, well obviously the mill and the 3, normal the Raiden if you add that to your hand, or even if you mill the Raiden, you add the Lumina, normal Lumina, ditch, Raiden, mill, and just mills. Go off.
10 mills in one fucking card.
Yep, so good in this
mill
deck.
A quarter of my deck top card.
And then we play double Galaxy Cyclone.
Would you play a 3rd?
I would actually play a 3rd, because it's one of these cards where when it's on the field, obviously I'd rather be milling it, and every time I've seen it, it's been in my hand, and everyone always has like the face-up vanities and everything else. And just when this is in your hand and you see a face-up vanities and they've got nothing else set, it's a good card, don't get me wrong, but it sucks when you're sitting there and you see that on the board and you can't do anything about it. But the whole thing of having it milled in the graveyard when anyone has anything to try and stop your effects going off, obviously the vanities, yeah, okay, it will stop you in the turn because you can't chain it, but at the end of the day, at least you can banish it to stop the vanities going off, so this whole deck doesn't become dead.
Interestingly, with this, you can destroy your own cards.
Yeah.
So if your opponent is a better player and is refusing to set that second card, destroy your own card, then watch them go, oh.
I have actually done that before, but that's only when I've been playing online with this. You just sit there, I destroyed a Void Seer, went off from that. And then the Void Seer was in the graveyard as well, and I thought, oh,
God,
what a shame.
That sucks for me.
And then obviously his vanities went, and kind of didn't seem to like to carry on playing after that point.
And his life went.
Then we played Double Hand Destruction.
How'd that work for you?
It didn't work too bad. Obviously, well, it worked alright when I versed the Shaddoll matchups. A little bit worried about it, because obviously Shaddoll's going graveyard, getting their effects to go off. But it seemed to help me out more on the day than it did them. I ended up getting the cards that I needed. Well, obviously I got the cards I wanted in the graveyard as well, just to make the place go off.
Will you keep it?
I think I'll keep it at 2 still this turn, just to give it another try out, see how it goes. And then if not, I might cut it down, or if it works really well again, I might put it up to 3.
Okay.
And we play double Dark Hole.
Obvious.
Just for the generic, well, obviously there's no Necrozid our locals, but at the end of the day, opening up a Dark Hole, going off on your mills and everything else with reasoning, just you can open up the board and then just go for an OTK straight there with it. And obviously we play the 1 Regeki as well, just for the simple fact of just going in hard on your opponent.
It puts in work.
Too much work.
Such a depressing card when someone Regekis you.
And then we've just got the single Monster Gate.
Going to 2 in the next panelist, you heard it here first.
Hopefully it goes to 2.
Channel.
I want it to go to 2, just because of obviously playing the Infernoids.
It will go to 2.
But just so good in this. I've had it in times before where people have claimed the right card of my reasoning, and obviously I've milled the Raiden, which I don't really want to happen. So I've then just summoned any Infernoid, hopefully just the one that needs 1 to be banished, activate Monster Gate on it. I've gone into the Lumina, and yeah, I've just gone in from there again with that. So if that comes to 2, be a very happy person.
And the 40th card?
The 40th is Burial. Great card in this deck, obviously just because of the sake of there's so much banishment for when you're trying to bring out your Infernoids. The best play I've ever done with it is I banish a couple of my Infernoids to bring out like a Tondil, then I chain this to bring them back, and then bring out another one again and just go in for like 5-6 damage.
Okay. I know the side deck is a little bit interesting, so let's whiz through that one first.
Yeah, okay.
Something completely different for you scumbags who watch my YouTube channel.
Alright, so the first one we got is Triple Phantom of Chaos.
Phantom of Chaos. This is only a deck, as people say. Okay. Obviously, we don't know what this card is for. So, what is it for? Show us.
This card, obviously, well, one of the main reasons it's in there is, yet again, it's something I can actually normal summon. Well, obviously not at the local. Even if there wasn't a cross player, it's just something there I can normal summon. I can then banish one of my Infernoids to go and gain its effect, its attack, and just go over the Gin Lock. So it's one of the main reasons it's in there. But the main popular reason, what I really wanted it in there for, was for Sky Scourge.
Sky Scourge, nor alas.
Just for the sake of when you're playing this deck, obviously you're milling and you're going through like mad. And it's just a funny play when you can sit there, normal Phantom, banish Sky Scourge, destroy everything, your opponent loses their entire hand. Obviously it's...
Look at this face of happiness.
It's so much fun when you sit there and you do it to your opponent.
Face of happiness.
Good face.
And then obviously you've got 1,150 million Atondels and Seismitasses and fucking
because obviously
Steves in the graveyard to go off on.
Phantom goes obviously from the effect of everything being nuked. You draw a card, which at the end of the day you're not bothered about because you want what's in your graveyard more than anything. And we're going through on the mills and everything else, banishing this. Your opponent has no cards in hand, nothing on board, and you've got a field of big beaters. And they just usually, I've had people quit just and
they'll
straight
just come
away
back
from
again
that.
and again and again. It's like fucking playing against Cliff Orts and they just summon again and again and again.
And we've got double Chaos Hunter.
What?
I didn't actually need to use it on the weekend. Nobody was really playing anything banished. So it weren't really.
Or if they did, they milled their Imperial Iron Wars, didn't they?
Yes.
When they charged a Light Brigade. Hashtag no salt.
But the main reason this was in there was just in case, obviously, we had the Ritual Beasts come along, then it was just there to bring it out and stop them from doing anything at all.
Shut down! As Skepta would say.
We played just the one Summon a Monk. Obviously, Summon a Monk's in there just for the sake of bringing out the Phantom of Chaos.
Picture Void to grab a Rhydon from deck.
Yeah, obviously there's a Rhydon plays with it as well. Syncate, do whatever you want with it. So I thought I might bump it up to 2. I might even start maining it, depending on how it works and how it goes. Then we've got the single Perry, just because obviously milling it, and then when your opponent attacks, banish it and nuke a card, just to save your life points a bit. So generic one off there, might even double that up. Then triple Royal Decree.
Stop my opponent playing traps card.
Yep, just to obviously stop them playing the traps, the back row, obviously to stop them from just...
Watch as you mill 2 against the Stellar Nova Alpha player.
Yeah,
cry a bit.
Summon Rhydon, activate effect, mill 2.
Lose the game.
Lose the game quite quickly after that point. But it's just there because obviously Imperial Iron Wall's a card. And versing that against this deck, it just hurts so much. So that's the main reason why it's there. Obviously Tellarknights as well, just because they're trap heavy. But when you mill it, you kind of you lose. This is just the best way to put it. Then we've got triple breakthrough. Yeah, again.
Obviously, cards milling the card.
Yeah, just depending on how.
You need. I don't know how I didn't notice this before, but you need 3 MSTs in your side. Obviously you were mucking around with the Sky Scourge build, but apart from that, that's a pretty awesome side deck. Right, let's look at the extra deck.
See, I was tempted for the MSTs, but the reason why they're not in there, personally, is just because of the mills. Obviously, when you sit there and you mill like a Galaxy, it's fine. You mill an MST, you look at it and you go, that's
I play Chaos Shadow. I did exactly that thing.
Obviously, for the extra deck, we've got Gemini Pearl. Obviously, normal exceeds, no effect.
Completely unaffected by Fiendish Chain.
Can't even be touched by Fiendish Chain or anything like that, so it's a nice 2/6 beta, but it also helps with the Infernoids effects. Because their effect is, if you control any effect monsters who are more than the total level of 8, you cannot special summon anymore. So you bring out Gemini Pearl, if you've got like say a Rhydon and a Lila on board, exceed into this, and then it doesn't even count. It's like having a board with 0 stars or 0 ranks on it, and you can just go out, bring everything you want on board and attack the game, just straight from bringing a Gemini Pearl out.
Cool.
I've got one Castel.
Obvious card is obvious.
Just Castel, yet again, generic rank 4, spin cards back and then go off from there with it.
Yep. 101.
101.
Same as Castel.
Yeah, just a normal rank 4 staple.
Yep.
Just, well, as it is. And then black ship, just in case obviously anyone has anything that I just want to destroy and it's being a pain in the ass, I just bring out black ship for it. Exciton.
Nuke
it's so funny just to nuke the entire board and then just go in ham. Then we've got Big Eye, just because obviously we played the Infernoids with the high levels. So easy to go into this and then take a Beals for game.
Oh, I remember that. That was fun.
Then obviously Draco Sack as well, just for the sake of getting someone on the board.
Slightly more defensive play.
Yeah, just in case obviously there's not too much I can do. Just bring out the Draco Sack, some of the tokens, and hopefully well, I last till next turn. Then we've got the Clear Wing. Never actually really needed to make this at the tournament at all. Obviously the only matchups where there was like levels high enough were the Shadows more than anything, but that was controlled obviously with the cards I already had just to banish them and everything else like that. So Clearing didn't see much play, but he's in there for just in case measures. And then you got Gaia. Yet again, no effect. He's just a level 6 rank, which is just then to make the plays go off to OTK with the Infernoid build. Then exactly the same again with the Scrap Archfiend, just to go in there with the levels.
See, I wondered why you were playing these, but
yeah, because obviously they've all got no effects, and then when you sit there and you bring these out onto the board, either one really, and because of the levels, and you can bring out double a Tondel and then just sit there.
Is it you can't go over 8 or?
Yeah, you can't go, well, you can go up to 8, so you can summon an Tondel because that's the level 8.
Yeah.
But anything higher than level 8, you cannot special summon anymore. So you can literally go first turn if you get the lucky mills, and you can go on Tondel, Scrap Archfiend, and that's just game right there.
That's game, yeah. That's a lot of damages.
So that's why the generic non-effect synchros are in there.
Actually, you're being a jippo, I'm not playing Go. I take it back.
I was thinking of Goyo, but
well, no,
I prefer
yeah,
going in for the OTKs.
I can see why there's the reasons, yeah. Makes sense.
Black Rose, just because Black Rose nukes the board, and then I can just go in from there again with the plays and just, yeah, OTK again with it all. That's what this deck seems to be going towards at the moment.
No shit.
Yeah. And then Ancient Sacred Wyvern, exactly the same thing again.
So one with difference of life points, isn't it? Yeah,
so if I attack, well, if we're both on the same amount of life points, me and the opponent, I don't gain or lose anything, but if my opponent's life points are lower than mine,
you increase the attack.
Yeah, he gains the attack of the difference.
So you swing him with an Atondel for 2-8 and he goes up to 4-9.
Yeah, the other one,
that seems fair.
Obviously, is if my life, well, it's got another effect, part of it. If my life points are lower than the opponent's, he loses the attack.
Yeah.
So it's a very risky card to play. But I've had
not when you've got that many beaters.
No, but I had a very fun play the other day with it. Versing my friend's Light Swan deck. Obviously, well, first turn, he didn't really have anything on board. I sent so much that I milled. I was able to bring out, well, first turn, I brought out Ancient Sacred Wyvern. He's sitting there looking at me going, okay, fair enough, it's only 2 on attack. And then I banished 3 from my graveyard to bring out an Onku. So, because he had nothing on board, no monsters, I attacked him with an Onku for 3,000. And
then attacked for 5-1.
Ancient Sacred went to 5-1 and just went for game straight there.
GGWP.
Kind of didn't like me too much after that, but
understandable.
I was quite happy about it. Then we played one Michael, just because obviously we play the Light Swans in here, and the sake of just being able to banish any of those cards, which is just a pain to get around on the board.
Banish the Winder, because the Winder kind of shuts you from OTK.
Yeah, and then it's obviously it's there also for the sake of if I need to get more mills, and it's just a bigger ass on the board, well, bigger attack and bigger ass on the board than if I kept Raiden and Lumina on there. One Scrap Dragon. I've never really even used it at the tournament, but it's just in there for its effect and being able to clear the board of what I need it to, or just to sit there and have a decent attack on it.
And last but not least,
and then last, Crimson Blader. Never even needed to use this as well. Didn't see any need to. But yet again, it's for like the Shadol matchups and everything else like that. Sit there just attack into anything, and then they're unable to bring out the constructs, the Sheks, all of that on you, so you've not got too much to worry about for the next turn. But yet again, never really needed to see it.
Cool. Anything you change? Anything you'd do slightly differently?
I am looking at changing it at the moment. I need to obviously change more of the mills, what I get going off on the deck. I'm really tempted to go and put the Fiend Comedian in there, which I've been, well, told by one of our friends, well, cameraman ourselves. And when I've been playtesting with that, it works so well.
It's just good against the meta. It's not. It doesn't hurt you in any way.
It's like Tellarknight. If you call it right and you chain it to them summoning out Altair to bring back Deneb and you banish it all, they don't like you too much either from that point. The only other thing I think is putting up the Raiden a bit more, just obviously while playing Raiden at 3, just for the sake of then having the more mills and having it first hand as well. But other than that, I think that's about all I'd change in it really.
Cool. Well, congratulations on your top.
Thank you.
Well, we'll see if you repeat it on July the 12th. We'll have another first place profile. It might not be mine, it might be Brat's. We'll wait and see. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you soon.